Howdy rail fans. We have a little scout motor here, Lionel 233. I wanted to show you how these little trains, they can be fun to run. They're from the early 60s, mid 60s. The reversing units are a little different than the regular reversing units in Lionel trains, and they can be irritating sometimes, and I want to show you that you can get a lot of fun out of these trains. Just put some work into them. There's some little quirks. I'll show you how to work these things. I wanted to restore this train. It has a 233 with a 233W whistling tender. It has all the steps, and that's what made it worth restoring, because it's in such good shape. It has the steps on the front of the engine. This one, the 233, it has magnetraction, and along with the whistling tender, it makes it kind of fun to run. So we have a big consist of cars on this. I believe I have like 10, 11 post-war cars, including the tender, and this guy can pull it with magnetraction. I mean, look at that. This guy's got some authority. It's this little plastic shell. So let's try this reversing unit, and we'll see if it gets hung up. It has a movable coil. It's not a regular reversing unit. And it has a smoke unit too. I didn't mention that. So there it goes. So don't let that bother you if it's going to start doing that. We can fix this. You can see that reversing unit isn't really working as well as a regular Lionel reversing unit would. It's actually working really well right now. It usually does. Sometimes it gets hung up and it gets stuck in reverse. Look at that magnetraction. It is moving this train with authority. So if it were to get hung up, let me show you how to do this. Don't get upset. Just turn the thing over. Let's get the flashlight here that was shining on the train. Up in here, you have these gears for the reversing unit, these cogs. So when this thing gets stuck, all you have to do hit these, rotate those guys a little bit, but be careful not to hit that top metal contact, or you're going to have to open up this thing. You're going to have to take the motor, drop the motor out of the cab, you know, out of the shell here, and you're going to have to reset that thing because it has a little clip that holds it in there. That thing can slide around and it'll get out of place, that little contact shoe or that little contact plate. So this one, as you saw, was working pretty good. There's a smoke unit up in there. These things were shown to have a 6-volt light. This one was burned out. I'm running this thing at 12 to 14 volts to pull this train with this magnetraction, so a 6-volt light's going to burn out. You can't have a 6-volt light in a train like this if you're going to run 12 to 14 volts to pull what it can pull with magnetraction. And you see the beauty of this thing. This is why I wanted to restore it. Yeah, sure, it's a plastic shell. Yeah, it's a scout motor, and the reversing unit's not that great. But it has a smoke unit, magnetraction, and I wanted to see what I could get out of this thing. So let's see what it's going to do now. You know, I was manipulating the reversing unit. Another thing is, So it's going to reverse there. This is different than the rest of the reversing units. This is going to advance it now. So it was in reverse. So if I click it, that moves it to forward. Like that. So let's get this going. Look at that consist. No problem at all. Magnetraction. This little plastic shell engine, LW transformer, 125 watts. The best transformer you could get if you cannot afford a ZW. Get the LW. That guy is smoking like a freight train. Like I say, that's a 14-volt headlight I put in there. Because it takes so much juice to run this thing. With this kind of load. Let's look at this magnetraction again. For a plastic shell train with this many post-war cars, my gosh, this is almost like a 2018, a 6-wheel drive train with no traction aids.